where do you see this mindset show up most in some guys today that you meet with? Like, what are some areas? We've probably talked about a few.
Yeah, well, I mean, the obvious one is career and work. Um,
That's mine, by the way.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
definitely mine.
Well, how does that how do you see that manifest?
Anxiety.
Anxiety? Yeah.
Because I mean, so much of it is outside of my control in a
Mm,
good way, by the way.
right.
Um, I used not to believe that. I think in my 20s, I thought, oh no, I need to be in a position where I'm in control.
Yeah,
And because this will kind of scratch that itch of
yeah.
having to wait on other people or like having to wait, you know what I mean? Seriously.
Wait on others. Yeah, man.
And, um, and so it would cause anxiety because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I haven't heard like this project that I'm working on that's
Mhm.
going to be the next Twitter
Right.
is, whatever
Oh, man.
is, man, I'm waiting on somebody and I haven't heard back from them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or that's just a small example.
Mhm.
So it created anxiety because it's outside of my control, which, looking back, I mean, it's totally, God teaching me a lesson. Like
Yeah.
I'm not as interested in you getting that result. I'm more interested in the lesson that you're learning right now.
Yes.
Uh, which is hard to see until you're like 10 years removed,
Mhm. Yeah.
sometimes. Um, but yeah, anxiety for sure. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the obvious one is Matthew 6, right? Do not worry about tomorrow, let tomorrow worry about self, right? And I think that is so hard. Because you're right, even in a sales role where there is a level of control, at the end of the day, the older you get, the more you realize, like, I can't control anybody. The
No.
only thing I can
Yeah.
control is me.
Yeah, that's right.
I can put forth the best effort
Yeah.
and, leave it all on the field mindset, right? I hate to, this is such a cheesy term, but it's true.
It is
And
true.
just go, and just, all right, the result is result. God, you bring about the fruit, I get, whether I get paid more money or not, that's a wild thought. I mean, it's the whole concept that, yeah, sometimes are we okay with, leaving the result up to God, right? Leaving the result up to somebody else.
That's hard,
Dude, yeah, that lack of
especially when the
control.
stakes are high and,
Yeah.
um,
Mhm.
yeah, and you
And we can wanna make it happen on our timing. I think that's sometimes where we feel like we've seen people do it on their own timing. Like I for years wanted to be a very, type A driver, make things happen type personality, but it just
because that's what you saw
that's
successful, I
what
guess?
success is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's what, you think, but then you start really looking at the fruit of those guys' lives, like divorce, broken friendships. I mean, the obvious one is like the unicorns of our generation, right? The Mark Zuckerbergs, the Elon Musks, of the world, where you're like, there's something admirable about them, but also like going back to what we've already talked about, sacrifice. Like, did they, in the midst of like being the driver of their own destiny, did they miss all right, they gave up something
Oh,
else
yeah, I bet.
that maybe sacrificed their joy, their happiness, their contentment, their fulfillment. And it's like, well, the grind was their fulfillment. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
You seen, Social Network, the movie?
Oh, it's a great movie.
So good. It's
Uh,
like probably one of my top 10
yeah,
favorite movies.
100%.
Dude, the people that he burned to get
Yeah.
talking about Zuckerberg. Speaking of that, what's a mistake you see commonly made by guys that you meet with in their 20s and 30s? So if you're listening to this and you hear,
Yeah.
when
Uh,
in this unsettling,
oh, dude,
what's a common mistake
this
you
one just
see?
pop. This one is like the dating via image.
What do you mean?
Like, the woman I'm currently with, I really love being with. She seems like she would make a great mom, great wife, super, the whole, like, we have similar values, similar interests. We could spend large time together, but she didn't quite look like I thought the person I wanted to marry. And like, oh, don't do that. Do not do that. One is like the obvious thing is like, dude, you ain't no Adonis. I didn't realize you're Bruce Wayne,
Yeah.
6'4", throwing 300 pounds around. Like, no, sorry. But two, it's like the whole, like, it's just being image conscious in your dating, like constantly. Maybe that person, maybe I should have somebody that looks different, or, or it may not even just be looks. There could be a whole other things of like background, whatever. We constantly see well, there could be somebody better versus like,
Yeah. So
oh man, I'm with a great woman. Like
yeah, so you're hitting the point of always just it could
that
be
makes sense.
better.
Yeah,
Could be better. Let's go
man.
to the Americas and and it
Yeah,
was, thank goodness they
yeah,
did that, by the way.
yeah.
But, you know, man, if we just
Mhm.
she's great, but
Yeah,
gosh, just if I can just get this one thing about this person or whatever, it
yeah,
could be better.
yeah. Sydney Sweeney single now. Oh
Yeah.
man, get out of here. You know, which we, and you're sitting there and thinking, I was like, man, what sustains a long term, meaningful relationship, especially marriage, is like, looks or even, fame, whatever. Well, all those things do not sustain something like that. I
Yeah.
mean, to me, it all comes down to attraction, obviously part of it, but like, like attraction, but more than that, it's like common values and common interests. Like, can you spend large amounts of time together and you believe generally the same stuff?
Yeah.
It's like,
Thank goodness our wives were not into looks.
yeah, seriously. Dude, I was late 30s, balding. Oh man. And she somehow like, thought I was great. She was 29-year-old, like
Yeah.
she picked this guy, whatever.
Yeah. Why would she do that?
Yeah.
What's something simple that guys can do that feel like they're stuck on that cycle? They're saying, "Hey, oh, that's me. I'm always thinking about the next thing. I'm always,"
Mhm.
um, which by the way, don't not do that.
Yeah.
We're not saying don't
Don't
work hard.
stop.
You
Yeah.
guys understand the difference. But what's something simple they can do?
Yeah, yeah. One is like, I think taking the perspective of a holistic life, like there's other areas that I can focus on in my life. Sometimes we get obsessed in one area. Success looks like only success in this area, but maybe I need to take care of my body better. Maybe I need to be more in community. Maybe, it's just, I think thinking yourself as a more holistic person, like success in a holistic way, that's more meaningful. Um, but two is just, yeah, put in the practice of like just putting stuff down. It's interesting, like, the polar opposite here is when, they talk about people in depression. The number one habit they deal with is rumination. They
Hmm.
ruminate on where they're at, being stuck, and they just need some level of clarity of just getting out, just go do something. Where I think, a lot of men is, that are we're talking about on the other end of the spectrum, it's like they're always doing something. It's like, well, maybe how do you find that in between of like, how do I, this is what I talk about all the time, like just take stock of what's really motivating me, where, really where do I want to be? Ultimately, what kind of man I want to become? Is this what I want to be? As a guy who's working 10, 12-hour days and just grinding and putting my head down and avoiding the people in my life and, only taking phone calls of someone who could help me get somewhere versus helping someone who can't
Yeah.
that, you know,
Yeah.
I think, learning that practice of evaluating yourself, evaluating your motives and who you want to be, but then two, like, okay, how do I actually just stop and be present with the person in front of me? I think that's one, like, hey, just go get do, I love, what's the country music song, Brad Pitt, Time Well Wasted. Like, learn to do stuff that's just like, I mean, it's just you're spending quality time with a human being, you know, another human being, and you're there. That's it. You're not thinking about the result of it. You're not
Yeah.
thinking about
Yeah.
what this person can get me, or just be there.
Yeah. So it's in a way shifting your mindset from drive, 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 ambition, ambition to how can I add value to the people around me right now?
Yeah,
Like what's something I can do or something that'll kind of consume some of that energy. uh, and the only other thing I would add is just that gratitude piece of working that muscle